Most gardeners spend an entire season fighting clay soil, raised beds, or expensive grow bags, only to dig up a handful of scrawny sweet potatoes that barely feed one person. But what if I told you that one of the most productive sweet potato harvests you will ever pull off happens inside something you almost threw away this morning? A regular black trash bag. No special equipment, no raised bed, no expensive container garden setup. Just a bag that costs less than $1 and a method that, when done right, can produce 40 to 50 pounds of sweet potatoes in a single season. Here is the part that surprises most people. The trash bag is not a compromise. It is actually one of the best environments you can create for sweet potato root development. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why and exactly how to set it up so you can pull off a harvest that will shock your neighbors. Let us get into it. Constant setup. Why the trash bag math? Before we touch a single slip or a single scoop of soil, you need to understand why this method works so well. Because if you understand the why, every step that follows is going to make perfect sense. Sweet potatoes are not like most vegetables. They are a root crop, which means the part you eat is growing underground, and it is growing outward in every direction, looking for space to expand. Most containers fight that expansion. Rigid walls, shallow depth, compressed soil. All of these things limit how large your tubers can get. A trash bag changes that dynamic completely. First, the dark color of a standard black trash bag absorbs heat from the sun. Sweet potatoes love warm soil. They are a tropical crop at heart, and when the soil temperature stays consistently warm, root development accelerates in a way that simply does not happen in cool or shaded ground. Second, the flexibility of the bag means the walls actually give slightly. As the tubers grow, there is less resistance. The roots push outward, the bag accommodates, and you end up with bigger, rounder tubers that have had room to develop fully. Third, and this is the part most people overlook, when it is time to harvest, you do not dig. You tip the bag over, tear it open, and everything falls out at once. No broken tubers, no missed potatoes left in the ground. Every single one comes out clean. And now that you understand why this works, let me also tell you where most gardeners completely ruin this method before they even get started. Stay with me, because this next part determines everything. Before I walk you through the setup, drop your country in the comments right now. I want to know where you are watching from. Whether you are gardening in a tiny backyard in the UK, on a balcony in the Philippines, or in a front yard in Texas, this method works for all of you. And I want to see how many countries we can get in this comment section. Step 1. Preparing the trash bag container. The bag you choose matters more than most people realize. You want a heavy-duty black contractor trash bag, not a standard kitchen bag, not a clear bag, not a thin lawn and leaf bag, a heavy-duty black contractor bag, the kind rated for 30 to 45 gallons. These are thick enough to hold the weight of moist soil without tearing, and the black color is essential for heat absorption. One bag gives you roughly 18 to 20 inches of depth when filled, which is exactly what sweet potatoes need to develop properly. Here is the setup process. Roll the top of the bag down about 6 inches. This creates a cuffed rim that helps the bag hold its shape when filled and gives you a wider opening for planting. Think of it like rolling up the sleeve of a jacket. It adds structural support. Next, you need to create drainage. This is where a lot of first-timers make a costly mistake. They fill the bag, plant their slips, water heavily, and then wonder why the roots rot before they ever get established. Standing water at the bottom of any container is a death sentence for sweet potatoes. Take a sharp object, a nail, a screwdriver, a pencil, and poke 8 to 10 holes across the bottom and lower sides of the bag. Space them evenly. These holes allow excess water to escape freely, so the roots are always in moist soil but never waterlogged. Place the bag in its final growing location before you fill it with soil. Once filled, a 45-gallon bag of moist growing mix can weigh 60 to 80 pounds. You do not want to discover that after the fact. And speaking of soil, this is the step that separates a 20-pound harvest from a 50-pound harvest. Because the soil mix you use inside this bag is everything. Step 2. The soil mix that boosts sweet potato growth. Do not fill this bag with plain garden soil. That is one of the most common mistakes in container growing, and with sweet potatoes it is especially damaging. Garden soil compacts under irrigation, and when sweet potato roots push outward through dense compacted soil, they cannot expand freely. The tubers end up small, deformed, and crowded. You want a mix that stays loose and aerated throughout the entire growing season. Here is the blend that consistently produces the largest yields in a trash bag setup. Start with 50% high-quality compost, not a bag of potting mix with compost listed as an ingredient. Actual finished compost, either homemade or purchased from a garden center. Compost provides the nutrition sweet potatoes need without heavy chemical inputs that can actually stimulate too much vine growth at the expense of root development. Add 30% coarse perlite. Perlite is the white volcanic glass particles you see in premium potting mixes. It does not hold water itself. Instead, it creates air pockets throughout the mix that allow roots to breathe and prevents compaction over time. This is the component most home gardeners skip, and it is why their harvests disappoint them. Add the final 20% as clean sand, coarse builder's sand, not play sand. Sand improves drainage at the base of the bag and adds weight that stabilizes the container during windy conditions. Mix these three components together thoroughly before loading them into the bag. Fill the bag to about 4 inches below the cuffed rim. This leaves room for watering without overflow, and it gives the vines a base to spread from once they start growing. Now press the surface of the soil mix gently to eliminate large air pockets at the center. Not packed down hard, just gently settled. The surface should feel firm but not rigid. Now your bag is ready for planting, and what you are about to learn about how to plant sweet potato slips is going to change your entire approach to this crop. Step 3. Plantin' squinch sweet potato is Salops, correctly. If you have ever grown sweet potatoes before and ended up with more vine than tuber, it is almost certain that the way you planted your slips is the reason. A sweet potato slip is not a seed. It is a rooted or pre-rooted cutting taken from a sprouting sweet potato. Each slip, when planted correctly, becomes its own plant, and one plant in a 45-gallon bag is all you need. 2 plants at most. Here is what most gardeners do wrong. They plant the slip vertically, straight down into the soil like a seedling. When you do this, the rooting zone is narrow and concentrated. The tubers that form are clustered tightly near the base of the slip, and they compete with each other for space. Here is what you should do instead. Plant your slip at an angle or even nearly horizontal, about 3 to 4 inches below the soil surface. The growing tip of the slip, the leafy end, should angle upward and emerge from the soil at a gentle slope. The buried portion of the slip is where tubers will form along the stem. When planted at an angle, the buried stem is longer. That means more nodes underground, and each node is a potential formation point for a tuber. More nodes buried equals more tubers produced, and those tubers spread along a wider horizontal axis, exactly what the trash bag setup is designed to accommodate. Water the slip in gently immediately after planting, just enough to settle the soil around the stem, not a heavy soak. A light, even watering that collapses any remaining air pockets around the roots. Keep the bag in a warm, sunny location for the first week. Do not overwater during establishment. The slip is in survival mode right now. It is pushing energy into root development, and sitting in wet soil will slow that process or cause rot. Once you see new leaf growth at the tip of the slip, you know it has taken hold. That is your signal that the next phase of management begins. And that phase, watering and sunlight strategy, is where a lot of growers lose weeks of productive growth without even realizing it. Step 4. Watering in sunlight strategy. Let me give you the real watering strategy for sweet potatoes in a trash bag, because the standard advice, water when the top inch of soil is dry, is too vague to produce a 50-pound harvest. Here is the actual framework. During the first 3 weeks after planting, water moderately and consistently. The goal is to keep the soil moist at about 4 to 6 inches of depth, not the surface, the mid-zone. This encourages the roots to grow downward and outward in search of moisture, which naturally expands the tuber formation zone. If you water too shallowly, the roots concentrate near the surface and tuber development stays small and shallow. From week 4 through week 8, the active vine and root development phase, increase watering volume but reduce frequency slightly. A deep soak every 2 to 3 days, depending on heat and humidity, is more effective than light daily watering. You want the moisture to penetrate the full depth of the bag, reach the root zone, and then allow the top several inches to dry partially before the next watering. This cycle stimulates root activity in a way that constant moisture does not. One technique that significantly improves yield is watering around the perimeter of the bag rather than pouring directly at the base of the vine. This distributes moisture evenly across the full width of the container, encouraging the roots to spread outward toward the walls of the bag, exactly where you want them. On sunlight, sweet potatoes require a minimum of 6 hours of direct sun per day. 8 hours is better, 10 hours is ideal. The trash bag setup gives you the significant advantage of portability in the early and late season. If you are in a climate where morning sun is strong but afternoon heat is intense, you can move the bag to a sheltered position during peak hours. Position is everything. Now, there is one stage of growth coming up that almost every first-time trash bag grower mismanages, and it directly costs them pounds of harvest. Step 5. Managing vine growth for big, mature tubers. Once your sweet potato plant hits its stride around weeks 4 through 6, the vine growth will surprise you. A single sweet potato plant in a large trash bag can produce vines that run 6, 8, even 10 feet in multiple directions. Most gardeners see this explosive growth and assume everything is going well. And it is, but only if you manage it correctly. Here's the problem. When sweet potato vines trail along the ground, they root at every node where the vine contacts soil. That sounds productive, but it is actually a yield killer. Every new rooting point from a trailing vine is a site where the plant diverts energy away from tuber development at the base. Instead of sending that energy underground into your tubers, the plant is splitting it across multiple rooting sites across your yard or garden floor. The solution is vine training. Every few days, lift the vines and redirect them back toward the bag, coiling them loosely in a circle around the base of the plant. This keeps the vine growth visible, prevents unwanted rooting, and focuses the plant's energy where you want it, underground, inside the bag. Do not cut the vines. The leaves are solar panels. Removing them reduces the plant's photosynthetic capacity and directly limits how much energy is available for tuber development. Train the vines, do not eliminate them. There is also a fertilization consideration during this phase that most gardeners miss. Sweet potatoes need very little nitrogen. In fact, too much nitrogen, which is the first number on any fertilizer label, produces lush, beautiful vines and small, underdeveloped tubers. If you amended your soil properly at the start with compost, you likely need no additional fertilizer at all. If you choose to feed, use a low nitrogen, high potassium formula, something like a bloom booster typically used for flowering plants. Potassium supports root and tuber development specifically. Now the vines are growing, the roots are expanding, and you are getting close to the most satisfying part of this entire process. But harvest timing is where everything can go wrong if you are not watching for the right signals. Step 6. Cygnus your. Sweet potatoes are ready to harvest. Sweet potatoes do not announce themselves the way tomatoes or squash do. There is no color change on the outside. There is no color change on the outside. There is no fruit to pick. The harvest is invisible, buried inside that bag, and you only get one chance to time it correctly. Harvest too early, and the tubers are small and underdeveloped. Harvest too late, and depending on your climate, you risk frost damage or skin cracking as the tubers try to keep growing in saturated soil. Here are the signs that your sweet potatoes are ready. The first signal is vine yellowing. When the lower leaves on the vine begin to turn yellow and drop naturally, this is the plant's way of signaling that it has shifted out of active growth and is maturing its root mass. This typically happens between 90 and 120 days from planting, depending on variety and climate. The second signal is at the soil surface. Look at the area where the vines emerge from the bag. When sweet potatoes are fully developed, you will sometimes see slight cracking or pushing at the soil surface near the base of the plant. The tubers are literally running out of room. That is a good problem to have. The third signal is the calendar. If you planted your slips after your last frost date and you are approaching the first expected frost to fall, do not wait for visual signals. Frost that penetrates the soil will damage sweet potato skins and cause rapid decay in storage. Harvest at least 2 weeks before your projected first frost, regardless of where the vines are in their cycle. Now, stop watering about 7 to 10 days before harvest. You want the soil inside the bag to dry down significantly. Dry soil at harvest means less mess, cleaner tubers, and skins that cure properly for long-term storage. The harvest itself is the moment every gardener who has done this method talks about for years afterward. And I want you to picture this clearly right now. Step 7. Harvesting the bag and revealing the yield. Picture this. It is a cool morning in early fall. The vines have yellowed and died back naturally. You have stopped watering for a week. You walk out to your bag and the soil is dry enough to handle cleanly. You grip the bag near the base, tip it on its side, and start pulling. The bag tears open, and what comes out is 40, maybe 50 pounds of sweet potatoes tumbling out of a single black trash bag onto your lawn or patio. That is not an exaggeration. That is the result of a properly set up, properly managed trash bag sweet potato system. The tubers that come out of this method are often larger and more uniformly shaped than what many gardeners pull from in-ground beds because they had consistent warmth, excellent drainage, loose soil with no compaction, and properly trained vines throughout the season. Once harvested, do not wash the tubers immediately. Instead, place them in a warm, humid location, around 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit and 85% humidity if you can manage it, for 10 to 14 days. This curing process hardens the skin, heals any minor nicks or cuts from harvest, and converts starches to sugars. A freshly harvested sweet potato tastes starchy and somewhat flat. A properly cured sweet potato tastes like candy. The difference is dramatic. After curing, store your sweet potatoes in a cool, dark location around 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not refrigerate them. Cold temperatures below 50 degrees damage the flesh and create off flavors. Stored correctly after curing, your harvest will last 4 to 6 months. You started this video thinking about a trash bag. You are ending it thinking about a harvest. Here's what makes this method so powerful for backyard growers, container gardeners, and anyone who has limited space or difficult soil conditions. You are not fighting your environment. You are building a perfect environment from scratch, inside a container that costs almost nothing, and then putting it exactly where it needs to be. The trash bag controls the soil mix. The soil mix controls the root development. The root development controls the yield. Every variable is in your hands, and every step we covered today is designed to push that yield as high as possible. If you want 40 to 50 pounds of sweet potatoes from a single bag, you now have everything you need to make that happen. The method is real, the results are real, and the only thing standing between you and that harvest is getting started. Plant your slips at an angle. Build your soil mix correctly. Train those vines. Let the bag work for you. And when harvest day comes and you tip that bag over and pull out more sweet potatoes than you ever imagined from a container this simple, remember this video. Keep growing your backyard yield.